If you've ever felt like you're working hard but still getting overlooked, misunderstood, or even outplayed in life, then what I'm about to share might completely change how you see the world. Because hidden beneath everyday conversations, relationships, business deals, and even friendships, there is a silent game of power being played. And most people don't even realize they're part of it. And this is exactly what the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene reveals with brutal honesty, especially Law 3, Conceal Your Intentions. A principle so powerful that once you understand it, you will start seeing human behavior in a completely different way. Because the truth is simple but uncomfortable. People who openly reveal their plans, emotions, and strategies often lose control of the situation, while those who master the art of subtlety, misdirection, and psychological positioning quietly gain the upper hand without anyone noticing. And that's exactly why this law exists. Not to turn you into a manipulator, but to make you aware of how the world actually works so you don't become the one being manipulated. Because think about it. When you tell everyone your next move, your goals, or your intentions, what happens? People start judging, doubting, interfering, or even competing against you. But when you stay unpredictable, when you move in silence, when you reveal only what benefits you, suddenly you become harder to read, harder to stop, and much more powerful. And this is not just theory. History is filled with examples like Otto von Bismarck, who pretended to oppose war publicly while secretly preparing for it, confusing everyone around him and ultimately achieving his real goal when the timing was perfect. Or the legendary courtesan Ninon de l'Enclos, who understood that attraction and influence are built not through direct expression, but through mystery, misdirection, and emotional unpredictability, showing that even in relationships, revealing too much too soon can destroy the very outcome you desire. And this is where most people fail today, especially in the age of social media where everyone is constantly sharing their plans, their goals, their next big move, thinking it makes them look confident, when in reality it often makes them predictable and vulnerable. Because once people understand your intentions, they can prepare against you, they can block you, they can outmaneuver you, and sometimes they don't even need to act. Just knowing your plan is enough to weaken your position. And that's why this law teaches you to use decoys, to create distractions, to let people believe you're focused on one thing while you're actually working on something else. Not in a dishonest way, but in a strategic way. Because strategy is not about lying, it's about controlling information. And information is power. And the less others know about your true intentions, the more freedom you have to act without resistance. And one of the most powerful techniques explained in this law is the idea of the red herring, which means giving people something obvious to focus on so they don't notice what really matters. Like when someone appears interested in one opportunity, but is actually building something entirely different behind the scenes. Or when a person acts indifferent while actually being deeply invested, creating confusion that keeps others off balance. And this confusion is key because when people are confused, they hesitate. And when they hesitate, you gain time and advantage. And another powerful concept here is the smokescreen, which is even more subtle. Instead of actively misleading people, you simply appear normal, predictable, harmless, blending in so well that no one suspects you're playing a deeper game. And this is what makes the most powerful individuals so dangerous. Not aggression, not loudness, but calm, controlled, unreadable behavior, like a poker player who never reveals their hand. And if you think about it, this applies everywhere. In business when negotiating deals, in careers when planning moves, even in personal life when dealing with people who may not always have your best interests at heart. Because not everyone deserves full access to your thoughts, your plans, or your intentions. And learning when to speak and when to stay silent is one of the most underrated skills you can develop. But here's where most people misunderstand this law. They think it means being fake or manipulative all the time, which is not only exhausting but also dangerous. Because if people realize you're constantly deceiving them, you lose trust and credibility. And the law itself warns about this, saying that deception only works when it's balanced with authenticity, meaning you should not lie unnecessarily, but you should control what you reveal and when you reveal it. Because timing is everything, and sometimes the smartest move is simply to say less, to let others talk more, to observe, because while others are busy exposing their strategies, you are quietly understanding theirs. And this is why powerful people often seem mysterious, not because they are hiding something sinister, but because they understand that mystery creates respect, curiosity, and sometimes even fear. And all of these are forms of power. And if you look at successful entrepreneurs, leaders, or influencers, many of them follow this principle without even realizing it. They don't announce every step. They don't overshare their plans. They build quietly and reveal only when the results speak for themselves. And this creates a psychological impact that is far stronger than constant talking ever could, because results create authority, while words often create expectations that can backfire. And that's why, if you're serious about growth, about success, about building something meaningful, you need to learn this skill not to manipulate others, but to protect your vision, your energy, and your strategy from unnecessary interference. Because the world is not just about hard work, it's about smart work. And smart work includes understanding human psychology, understanding perception, and understanding that sometimes what you don't say is more powerful than what you do say. And that's exactly why the 48 Laws of Power has remained one of the most talked about books for decades, because it doesn't give you motivational fluff. It gives you real-world insights that can be uncomfortable but incredibly useful if applied wisely. And if this one law alone has made you rethink how you approach life, imagine what the other 47 laws can teach you, each one revealing a different aspect of power, influence, and strategy that can help you navigate a world where not everything is as simple or as honest as it seems. So if you're ready to level up your thinking, to stop being predictable, to start moving with intention and control, then check the link in the description and get your copy of this book. Because knowledge like this doesn't just change how you act, it changes how you see everything around you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.